Okay, I can't believe it's been 5 weeks since I did this. Memorial Day weekend, visited Prospect Bluff, Fort Gadsden on Saturday. Sunday went to the Florida Folk Fest. Monday, Memorial Day, went to an archaeological dig. And a busy weekend. I was out in the sun every day. So this was a great event. Now in Florida, they have what they call Emancipation Day. We just celebrated Juneteenth, which celebrated emancipation. That was in Texas. Well, in Florida, they got the word uh, almost a month to the day earlier, and we call it Emancipation Day. And that's actually a holiday now. Leon County, where it was read on the steps of the Knox House in downtown Tallahassee for the Emancipation Proclamation. But anyway, um, many of you know about Fort Gadsden, or it's called Prospect Bluff or Negro Fort. It's in the middle of the Apalachicola Forest, in the middle of nowhere. And I've done a lot of videos on this, and so has Dale Cox with 2A TV. He wrote a book that's over 400 pages long, really researching it. So I won't go into the whole thing, but there was a event this last May, and here it is on the left of the screen. You see a view from the Apalachicola River from the bluff. It's only like about 10 or 15 feet down to the water, so bluff is kind of generous. It's just a high bank, but it's really the only high ground on the Apalachicola River that you get to once you enter the river. It's like 15 miles up the river. And then, of course, you see the earthworks of Fort Gadsden. Now, this area was heavily damaged by Hurricane Michael in October 2018. Wow, almost 6 years now. And it's been closed ever since. So you just can't go out there and expect it to be open. They keep saying they're going to open soon. I'm not sure when that's going to be. They said apparently they're having trouble getting a caretaker there. First, it was hookups for the caretaker, and now they need a caretaker living out there. It's kind of hard to get somebody to do. It's 30 miles from Apalachicola, which is the nearest town, and it's 70 miles from where I'm at here in Tallahassee. So it's a bit of a drive out and anywhere. I first visited in 1993, stayed for like 10 minutes, and then just got the heck out because the bugs, and that was in September. The bugs were terrible, the deer fly and mosquitoes, and it started to rain. So I got the heck out. So enough of that. So they have a celebration. It says, "Welcome to the celebration in commemoration of the Negro Fort at Prospect Bluff and Florida Emancipation Day. This is a gathering of people interested in the history, and it includes some of the descendants of some of the survivors who, uh, a lot of the survivors escaped and went to Andros Island, I think in the Bahamas, Trinidad, something like that. So this is a commemoration they have. Otherwise, I wouldn't be going out there in the summertime this time of year. And there's about 100 people there, some great speakers. Um, this was the most people I've ever seen here at the site. So really enjoyed seeing some of the speakers. But kind of the interesting thing that's been added, there's this interpretive panel, Jackson Walker's paintings, and the talking about the archaeology of the Citadel building. And then up front, it's like a ghost image of the Citadel on the ground. And what that is, it's looking out where the Citadel would have been. There's three forts here. There's the British fort, and then the British left because of the treaty that ended the War of 1812, Treaty of Ghent. And then you had the Negro Fort. And some people wondered if we should use that name or not, but we use it because that's what the descendants use and what they call it. They said they never heard it called anything else. And then you have the earthworks, Fort Gadsden, built by Lieutenant James Gadsden in 1818, and which remained through the Civil War. So here you go, the ghost image again of the Citadel, looking down, and then there's the ground there. There's some posts there marking where the, I guess the corners was. It was an octagon shaped building. It looks like it was about 2 stories tall, and I think it kind of had a earthen roof or something to protect it from artillery, which unfortunately didn't work. And it was hit by the hot shot from the gunboat and exploded. And of course, some of the archaeological work discovered some of the connected works on the left, gray area in the grass. It's hard to tell from this image, but it's like a crescent-shaped depression, which is actually the moat of the Citadel. And you can see it much better here on the right. There's an image, there's a point of land. There's actually 10 different points that shoot out as a redoubt in a kind of a defensive position where you can defend the Citadel, and it kind of has a moat in front of it. And those still remain, and that's something that was uncovered with the archaeological work in the last 6 years. And of course, you have Fort Gadsden, the earthworks, and you have the original Fort Gadsden drawing by one of the officers, James Gadsden or whoever, from 1818. Fort Gadsden was the first place of American territory in Florida where they raised the American flag over the fort. It was not given to the Spanish when Andrew Jackson left, and a few weeks later, after the end of the First Seminole War, it became Florida or U.S. territory at that point. It remained as such. It was kind of like the Guantanamo of the time in Spanish territory. And it was an active fortification until Florida became a U.S. territory in 1821. So actually 3 years history of that spot. And this is overlooking the Apalachicola River from the point. Kind of interesting because when we were there doing the tour and the program, talking on the right, there's a big ship that went by, like a tanker ship or construction barge, and you can see it in the distance. It's actually huge, very large ship, and that's actually like a mile away. I kind of zoomed in on it. That's about where the gunboat was when they fired on the fort for that lucky shot. Just unbelievable distance of the artillery of the day, even to fire a mile. And artillery officer Alexander Fanning or uh, said, thought, it couldn't be done, or he claimed that he could do the same, and he tried to do the same from that distance and could not recreate that shot. And so that was a short visit to Fort at Prospect Bluff. I believe the forestry says that they will arrange tours if somebody arranges beforehand. Otherwise, it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and hopefully it'll reopen soon because it is an important part in the history of the Apalachicola Forest, and not only the forest, but Florida history and United States history, because what happened here in 1816, it was the last battle of the War of 1812, because the events that set up what happened here were really created by the treaty again and from what happened in the War of 1812, or you can consider it the first battle of the First Seminole War. Of course, eventually led to Andrew Jackson coming down and building a fort there at the site and destroying Miccosukee Town. So anyway, short video. Hope you enjoyed it. Just want to show you some of the Fort Gadsden, Prospect Bluff, Negro Fort, whatever you want to call it. Kind of some of the short history and the archaeological work and interpretive work. And that'll be enough for now.